obviously the trip to Old Dominion didn't go as we would have planned. Old Dominion was really, really good, and we just didn't play very well. I thought we got a little anxious offensively, forced some shots early, turned the ball over a couple of times, got ourselves behind, and had to play from behind a lot. But Old Dominion is a stingy team. They're a veteran team. They're really good on the defensive end, and they got out transition some on us offensively. But it was a great lesson for us, just a super lesson for us, and we've responded nicely. I think our guys have come back and practiced hard. They've taken this as a lesson for them, and I told them it might be a good idea to put that score up on our locker room to let them look at for the rest of the year, because that's not a locker room we want to go back to again this year. But credit Old Dominion for what they did. But they're a talented team. They're a team that will contend in our league, and it was a great place for us to go to find out. I think it really. In that adverse situation, I think it showed us a lot about ourselves, what we've got to get better at, how we've got to improve, and then that's where your character is revealed too. So we challenged that a little bit this week after we got back from that 5-hour road trip, but the kids responded nicely, and we're excited about what we think we can become. Well, I think for us, David, some of the stuff we did that concerned me a little bit was we tried to take some tougher shots too early in the clock. We really broke down where our shots are coming from, when we got them, and I think for us it's a big part of our philosophy is to score earlier, score late. If we can run down and get early buckets and good looks in transition, we want to try to do that. If not, we want to try to take, if we're going to take contested or tougher shots, they need to be late in the clock. And I thought we took some early ones that were contested, and we didn't need to do that. And we're anxious. We're still, and Evo even said this, one of our assistant coaches said this is almost like preseason again. When we started over again, because we basically had to reestablish a lot of things. And the way that we want to do things as a staff is a little bit different. And so they got to pick up on some of that too, but they've been so receptive to it. And we've had no quarrels. I mean, they understand where we mess up. We're able to get on them. They respond to it. I think we learned a huge lesson about that. I think too we learned that we weren't tough enough to go on the road and play a team like Old Dominion yet. And that's something we got to fix. And that's something we're going to work on fixing. Because we got a great group of kids. I'm just telling you right now, I wouldn't trade this group for anybody. You take that 30-point win for what you want to, or loss for what you want to. I wouldn't trade this group for anything. We've got a super group of kids, and I think they're going to turn this into something special. Well, that's something we want to continue to emphasize, because we win and lose together. Not one of us lost up the other night. We all lost. And that's something we want to try to make sure that we're all accountable to this. It's not just the players. It's not them and us as coaches. It's us together. It's us collectively. And we're trying to reestablish that mindset first. They know that we've got their back. They've got to come out and perform, so they'll have our back. But we're all in this together. And I don't think, I think the thing that, if I was disappointed in anything, is the fact that we sort of gave in a little bit. And that's where the toughness part of it, when we got down, I think we felt sorry for ourselves a little bit. And that's not what we're going to be known for. I don't want us to be known for during this period. I want us to continue to fight. At East Carolina, we did that. And came out in the second half, continued to fight and establish ourselves and won the game. South Florida, we competed. We didn't lay down. They made a run on us. We came back, had the ball with a chance to win the game at the end. But at Old Dominion, I think we got a little, I got a little down on ourselves. And adversity set in. We didn't fight back like we needed to. And that's something we worked to try to rectify this week. But we'll be consistently learning throughout this season. That's the great thing about it. And I told them in the practice today, I can't wait to, a lot of times I'd love to know where we're going to be in March, but I really don't care. I want to know where we're going to be tomorrow. And how we compete in practice will determine that, because I think we can establish some things about our mentality and who we're going to be as a team in practice, and then hopefully display it some of the games.
Wing.
He is. Andrew's playing. He's played really well offensively the last couple of games. Now he's got to quit fouling, because he keeps himself out of games with cheap fouls, and he plays so hard and with such a intense desire that he makes up for some mistakes, because he's going to make some mistakes. We all are. And Andrew makes some. They're out of aggression. And sometimes it looks like he's not really sure what's going on, but he's just playing so hard and with so much passion. As long as he plays hard and competes, they can play through some mistakes as far as I'm concerned. Any of them can. If they're not playing hard and making mistakes, that's when we have issues. But he's a lot more free offensively, a lot more comfortable. I get a text from him on the way back on a road trip the other night after the Old Dominion game. We're driving back, and we're about 4 hours into the road trip, and most everybody's asleep, except Andrew's not. And he sends me a text that, Coach, we're going to get this fixed. I just know that they're all bought into what we're trying to do. They all are, and we had everybody at our house last night and had a meal together, and it was just the comfort levels there. We've got them understanding who we are, what we want to try to do. Now we got to just continue to fine-tune some things to get some things better. And Andrew he's really stepped up. If anybody's stepped up so far, he's been the one to do that. But Austin's also playing better. We got to get. Jalen's had some moments for us. We just got to get everybody together, to raise their level.
Are you changing anything in the scheme of the system?
We have. We've changed some things. We're going to try to mix up defenses a little bit more. We tried to press a little bit early on in our East Carolina game and doing some things, and which we will. We're going to try to do that some. We're going to mix a little bit more zone in. Offensively, we've not had as much success with our ball screen stuff as we have in the past, and so we're going to eliminate some of that. Get a little bit more freedom of movement and not playing so much off ball screens. We're so reliant on that. It seems like forcing JD to come off and play against two people all the time, and we're going to try to take that out of his hands a little bit, not exclusively out of his hands, but we're going to try to take that out of his hands a little bit and try to get a little bit more player movement. So we got passing and ball movement, player movement, as opposed to just have him coming off ball screens and making plays. We became too reliant on that, so that's the thing we're going to try to enhance a little bit too.
Well,
no, and the thing I would say to that is I'm not worried about it. I think he'll play his way out of it. I've got so much confidence in him, and so do his teammates, that we know he's going to play better. And if there's a critic he has out there, it's in his mirror. He's harder on himself than he is anybody. His dad's second toughest critic. So he's got his share of critics. But he's a good basketball player. His turnovers have become of just trying to do a little bit too much. To help us win. He wants to try to make the assist instead of just the next pass. He wants to, get the ball to the rim instead of maybe kicking it out. And those are things that he'll play his way back into, because it has become to where in the past it's more people trying to guard him one-on-one and they couldn't do it, but now they're guarding him with two. They're coming off ball screens and two people are staying with him. He's having to make a play, against two people, against long arms and things like that. So he's adjusting and learning from that too. And he's not playing up to his level, up to his standards. And we know that. He knows that. But he also knows that we have his back, and we're going to continue to ride with him. The other night, David, at the South Florida game, we're down 2 with the ball with a chance to win. I had an idea of something I wanted to run. John Davis comes and says, "Coach, let me win this game. Let me win this for us." That's a guy who's been struggling the last 4 or 5 games. And so what I do, we ran a play, we ran a X off the high post, got in the basketball, let him try to win the game. And follow up, 2 inches, 2 inches forward, that thing goes down. Same shot he made against Old Dominion, and he do, but he still wants the ball. So he's not lost his swag, if you will. He's still got that. He wants to continue to try to win for us, and he knows we're confident in him. And so I'm confident he's going to be able to play his way out of it. Well, I think from the ones we've seen so far, they're the most improved team in our league. And I'm not saying it just because they're our next game. Just you watch them and watch how they played last year, and watch how. And as you say, Adam Roosevelt, smart to the lineup, is good. He's averaged about 25 a game in conference play right now over 2 games. They're very structured in what they're doing. They're disciplined. They've shown that because they've already won 2 road games, and they won 2 close road games. They won both games by 1 point on the road at San Antonio and at UTEP, and that's not easy to do. But they've got some returning players. Shane Tamara is playing really well for them. Roosevelt Smart is a great guard. Woolridge is a point guard who may be, between him and Daquan Bracey, the 2 fastest point guards in the league, who's playing very well for them too. But they've got good balance. They've got good size on the inside. They've got good depth. They shoot the ball pretty well, and they're really active on the defensive end. So it's going to be critical for us. The game we played the other day, we can't beat anybody turning the ball over 22 times. I've never seen a stat line at halftime where he has 0 assists or 14 turnovers. That blew me away when we got in the locker room and saw that. And you can't beat anybody doing that. So ball security's been a focus this week too. We just can't be lackadaisical with it, and we got to meet passes and just over dribbling, and a couple things we got to work to eliminate that we watched on film and understood a little bit. So we'll have to do a better job of that. We're in the midst of a 6-game road swing here, and so it is a time for us to galvanize a little bit. And going to North Texas and Rice will give us an opportunity to continue to do that on the road before we come back home and play. But as I said, I'll say again, they're I think the most improved team in the league that I've seen up until this point. That's a good question, because I don't know that I can sit here and tell you that without it being a guess. I'd like to see us continue to make strides in this month, in this month of January. I think by the end of this month of January, she had an idea what direction we're going. I do, because you take a look at our schedule. We play, these 2 on the road, and we got 3 of the toughest teams in the league coming in here next. So we're going to find out right quick whether we're going to be a homecoming game for everybody, or we're going to have an opportunity to step in and compete. And I don't have, I've been doing this long enough to understand there's going to be ups and downs to every season. This is year number 30 for me doing this, so it's not the first time I've been involved in things like this. But the competitive nature of this team, if it rises up to where we need it to be, I think we can be involved in every game. I think we have an opportunity to win every game. I truly believe that, and because I think we've got enough talent to do that, David. I just think it's a matter of us all playing up to our potential of what we're capable of doing, and that's on both ends of the floor. We made some huge strides defensively. It didn't look like that the other night, but in practice, other than take that game out, I think we made some huge strides in what we're trying to do defensively, and we're continuing to change some things. We'll be a little bit more ball control offensively, try to control tempo with our defenses a little bit too, with our pressure and with our zones and things we're going to try to mix in. So they're still learning everything we're trying to do. We did change quite a few things. We still do some things we did before, but we did change some things. So how quickly they're able to pick this up. If their attitude's any indication, we're going to be fine. And that's, to me, that was the biggest concern, was making sure that we got them from the neck up first of all. We get that, and then we'll work on the physical part after that. And I think the way they've responded has been so positive. And it was a strange situation for them. But they walked in from that first night of practice and just said, let's go. Let's get better. Let's move forward. It's their team. That's why we use we. That's why we talked about us. It's not about me in this job or our staff in this job or anything else. It's about us getting better as a basketball team, and we've tried to establish that. And they know that they're on the pedestal here. It's not the coaches on the pedestal. They are. And we want to try to do everything we can to make them comfortable. Now that they get comfortable, we'll make them better. And I think that was the big thing we do. Let's get them feeling okay again. Let's feel okay. Let's feel good about ourselves. And I think we did a good job of doing that, because somewhere along the way they forgot they could play, mentally. They were just struggling with just everything, defensively, offensively, making shots. And I think now we've got them back to where they feel like they can play again. And so now we've got to go on the road and prove that. Yeah, Rice obviously in a new coaching situation down there too. It's going to be a little bit different than the Rice of the past, just because of the perimeter play they had, and they're really good on the guard spot in the last couple of years. A lot of those guys transferred out, so Connor Cashaw is really the only returning player they have of significance that played a lot with the past team. We see a lot of zone down there. They play 3-2 just about the entire game, some matchups, some regular 3-2. So we're going to have to go against the zone the entire time down there. So our ball movement is going to have to be really good, and we're going to have to make some perimeter shots and see if we can get Jalen established on the inside. But like I say, they're still learning about how they want to play and who they want to be. But we're certainly, after this North Texas thing, going to have to turn the page quickly and get ready for a zone that next day, because we'll play at 8 o'clock on Thursday and have to turn around and play at 2 o'clock on Saturday. So it will be a quick turnaround. So one thing we have done through the course of this whole resurrection, if you will, is try to put a lot more focus on us than we are our opponents. And we did that for East Carolina. We barely touched on East Carolina before we played East Carolina. We might have spent 10% of our preparation on East Carolina, 90% on us. And so we're trying to go with that philosophy here throughout. Now, as we go on into the season, we play people a second time. We'll scheme some more and do some different things of that nature. But right now, the entire focus is on us and who we are, as opposed to our opponent. I don't think that's near as important as getting ourselves under control. When you're on an airplane, they tell you to put your mask on first before assisting others. Well, that's what we're doing. We're putting our mask on first before we assist others.